As a viewer of booktube, you have probably come across a book of the month ad. I have come across many of them in my day, and they finally started shipping to Canada late in 2022, so I knew I had to get my grubby paws on it and give a review. Also, welcome to An Abundance of Books. My name is Julia. Let's talk about book of the month. I am going to be reviewing 3 months worth of boxes in this video. There will be unboxings, there will be charts and graphs and cats. So it's a very exciting time. Lots of timestamps down below if you're interested in just jumping to my final thoughts on whether book of the month is worth it for you and for me. Go there now. I will not judge you. For those of you who are more interested, what we're going to be doing here is only talking about the quality of the books. I'm not going to be talking about their selections at all. You can see that all on their site. It's actually very well laid out and lots of like fun things that you can search for if there's a particular book that you're interested in. It's more than just the 5 books that they advertise per month. I should also say this is not sponsored in any way. I paid for this with my own money. I'm happy to do so for a video. Will I be continuing in the future? You'll have to skip to the end to find out. Also, I will be talking specifically about Canada. All of the prices are in line there, but generally the service is the same. The only difference you should see is in price. My immediate plan for how to handle this after I looked at the site was I knew I was going to max out my boxes every time. You can get up to 3 books in your box. One of them has to be one of their book of the month picks, and then you can add up to 2 add-ons, which can be anything. Sometimes there are specific add-ons that are correlated with that month, but you can choose any backlist book that was a book of the month in the past or a previous add-on. The only thing you can't do is have 2 books from the current month. I knew that that was the way for me to get the best pricing per book, as well as I only wanted to do this for 3 months. Give me a good sample size of 9 books so that I can review them. But I think that's enough rambling. I think we can just cut to January and unboxing. No, we're not. Hello. So yesterday, the first book of the month box came. This is impossible. My first book of the month box came, and I was going to open it on camera, but I got too excited. So let's do an overview of it now. The first thing you get is an advertisement for book of the month. Established in 1926, which is apparently true, and that's wild. It's everything that you know about book of the month already. They list all of their winners for the past couple of years, but like other than that, this is nothing. And then immediately after that, there's just the books. There's no packaging, there's no nothing. So the first one that I got, Lunar Love, this is the pick for January. It's nice. There's a little bit of squishage. It's a little schmucked at the top edge, but other than that, it looks really good. Under the dust jacket, it has book of the month and the month that it's from. This one I am very happy with. The second book, Sign Here, I am much less happy with. The lighting in here isn't great, but I'll get you a better picture, but there's like streak lines going down the front, and it just looks kind of messy. I wonder if that's something that I can just clean, but something to note. This one's actually got maybe a tiny rip at the top. That doesn't bother me. It's more the streaks on the cover, so we'll see if I can fix that. And then the final book I got, Tomorrow. This one actually feels like it doesn't fit. It feels like the dust jacket is too big because it's quite boxy compared to the other ones. Like normally a hard binding like this is rounded. Oh no, they're all square. You just really only notice it on this one. So you can kind of tell on the back cover, there's sort of 2 lines where the crease should be. It can't quite figure out where it wants to be. And the interesting thing about this one is, so it says July 2022, which is when this originally came out, but it has the gold stickers. Like I think this was originally blue, and you can tell that they're stickers. So they're raised, this and this, whereas these ones are flush and part of the book. There's also a little sticker on the back that I can't tell if that's a sticker. That kind of looks like it's in there, but if it is, then I don't know why it wasn't all like that. And then right at the very bottom of the box, they have a bookmark or just something that says girls just want to have books, which sure, but is book of the month so gendered? It can't be exclusively. And do they market exclusively to women? I'm gonna have to look into that. I think the fact that there are some flaws with these and there's no like easy way to return them or get a different copy does concern me a little bit. In the end, I ended up paying not too much for these, but I could have just gone to my local bookstore and got these too. So I feel like I want something extra from these. I'm not discouraged enough to stop, so we'll check in again next month. I might be stuck here for a while. You go on to the next clip. In hindsight, I feel like I was a little harsh to the January box. It's definitely the worst one that we'll see. The quality will keep going up. It was just a little disappointing to me. I should mention this was also delivered during a snowstorm, so I do wonder if the fact that they didn't have any packaging in between maybe led to some of that scuffing. I was able to clean the sign here a little bit, but it also had some other scuffing indented into the cover, so that I obviously couldn't fix. So unfortunate, but it is what it is. Also, in regards to their return policy, I have not done that yet. I might now that this video is going out, but from the looks of their site, it's really easy to submit a ticket. You just put in your order number and what's wrong with it. Where the process goes after that, I cannot speak to, but at least submitting a ticket looks easy. All right, box number 2 has arrived. This one seemed to be faster than the last one, and it's also in much better condition. Like, it's not banged up like the other one was. So I'm excited to see. First up is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I read an arc of this. There's a video where you can see me do that, and I really enjoyed it. So this was one of their base picks, and I was perfectly happy to purchase a copy for myself. I also think some covers work better for Book of the Month than others, and this one, this stark green, stark is the wrong word, just neon green, works really well. This looks to be in excellent condition. The cover seems perfectly straight, it hasn't been schmucked at all. Yeah, very happy with this. Then we have The Last Tale of the Flower by Roshni Chokshi, one of my most anticipated books of the year. I love this author so much, and this is how they get you. This is the book that I really wanted this month, but it was an add-on instead of a base pick. This one also appears to be in really good condition. Oh, it says fantasy reads. This one says February. Oh, so maybe because it's not a month dependent, it's just regular fantasy. And all the ones I got before would have been month, so that's different. This one also looks in excellent condition. Again, the medallion, I think it's called, works really well for this cover, which means our last book is The Real Test, because this is the only one that's like more backlisty. And it is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the Book of the Month winner, Book of the Year, and this one's definitely a bit more beat up. It feels dirty. Either there is dirt on it or it's like a foil that's been scratched away a little bit. So it's interesting. So this is the March 2019 pick, it says on here, but they've changed the cover to be the Book of the Year one. Overall, I'm very happy with this. I think this box turned out better than the last one, and I love this cover so much. I've been holding off on buying a copy of Daisy Jones forever, so I'm finally happy to have it. I'm happy to finally have it. Another little bookmark put me in Coach. Not the promotional thing again. This one doesn't say it's just for girls. That's all that's in the box. 3 brand new beautiful books. These ones go together much better than the other ones. Okay, so here's a problem. There's no medallion on the spine on this one. Why is there no medallion on the spine of this one? That's like the whole thing. Oh, I don't love that. Oh well, nothing to be done about it now. This is an experiment to see if Book of the Month is worth it for you and also for me. So that's our February haul. Let's talk about that missing medallion. Yeah, really upset with that. That is probably the book that I'm most upset with because it felt like I was duped. I didn't know what I was getting into, and is like the whole point of the Book of the Month to me. So I investigated, and also through watching a couple of people on booktube just holding Book of the Month books, I noticed that you can tell in their promotional pictures. Here are all of the books that were available for February, and you can see there's a little indication that there's something on the spine. Madam is the only one that's like really hard to tell if there is one there or not. I personally believe that there is one, but who knows. And then I did also find another book that they have, A History of Wild Places, also doesn't have the medallion, and you can tell. So I don't know how widespread it is. If that's something that concerns you, at least you can tell prior to ordering the book. This is March's box. It came very timely. I feel like they all are pretty quick getting to me. I did open it, but I have not looked. So let's do that now. Again, I ordered 3 books. My pick for the book of the month is The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. This is the author of City of Brass. I think that's what it's called, which I have not read, but this is supposed to be a fun piratey romp. It's about this pirate who's on one last mission to save a friend's daughter who's been kidnapped. And it sounds fun. It's the beginning of a series. It's also quite chunky. Next, I got Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This has been recommended to me on BookTube in real life, and there wasn't a ton that was calling to me this time, but I'm excited to read this one. I know this is like 6th in the series, but you don't have to read all of them. Did I read an Abby Jimenez? I think I did. Not important. We're here to talk about the quality of the book. The quality of that book is excellent. The quality of this book is also excellent. There's no scrapes, no dings. This is a May 2022 release, and it looks really good. Also much chunkier than I was expecting, almost 400 pages. And then the last book that I got is Too Good to Be True by Carola Lovering. This one also looks like it's in really good condition. There's a little bit of smushing at the top, but generally this looks really good. This one also feels pretty big, but it's pretty standard size. The box was sort of bursting a little bit. I wonder what would happen if I ordered 3 500-page books, but it seems like they know what they're doing. Of all of the boxes that I've gotten, this one, all of the books are in really good condition, so that makes me very happy. One more thing in here. Welcome to the friend zone in a good way. That's right. Once you get 3 boxes, you get something. I will confirm what that is. I do appreciate they always give you a little something, but it never feels like there's too much promotional material or like waste to it. So I looked into the friend status a little bit, and there are a couple of things that come along with it. One of them is access to the Blue Boutique, I believe it's called, which is just another store. You can just buy more stuff from them. There's like pins and candles and stuff like that. I'm not going to be purchasing anything, but just so you know. The other promotion is that you get $5 off every add-on, and April hasn't come yet, but it didn't seem like it could be just any add-on. It had to be those specific add-ons that are month-based, like Last Tale of the Flower Bride was. So I can't really confirm or deny there, but it could definitely affect the price going forward. So overall, pretty happy with everything that I got. But you don't care about what I think. You have to care about the numbers. Let's talk about the numbers. Now we can get to the best part of the video, the numbers and the charts and the stats. The first thing that I want to talk about is the availability of the backlist books, as that is the most cost-effective way to use Book of the Month if you're looking sheerly by the numbers. So this chart is all of the books that are available from January of 2019 until March of 2023. It represents the 5 books that they have in their base box. Sometimes it is more than 5, like in March it was 7. If it was more than 5, I just counted it as 5. So you can see there's still a huge number of books available. It even goes back past 2019, I think 2015, I want to say. The quantity definitely goes down as you continue, but there are tons of books available through Book of the Month, so you will not be in want of something to add to your box. Now, in terms of comparing Book of the Month to just buying these books regularly, I took all of these prices off of Indigo. That's the major retailer of books in Canada, and these are also non-sale prices. Most of these books, when I looked them up, they were not the list price, but I wanted to go with the list price just to be safe. Often new releases get a discount, but because a lot of these were backlist, I didn't know how to compare them, so that's what I went with. Also, of the books that I bought, 7 of them were available in hardcover and 2 of them were not. They just came out as paperback, so if you are a hardcover person and there isn't one available, Book of the Month is always hardcover. Which means I then have 2 prices for how much everything costs. There's a price if you were going to get the most expensive books you can get, and a price if it's the least expensive books you can get. Basically, one is if there's an option between hardcover and paperback, take the hardcover, the other ones take the paperback. So if you were going to take the most expensive options for everything hardcovers when they were available for these 9 books, I would have paid $304.57. That works out to a cost of $33.84 per book, which seems pretty in line for Canada. A brand new hardcover, $37 is typically the price that I see. A little bit of wiggle room. You can definitely get them for cheaper, but that's the base price if you're going for all the hardcovers. If you want to sprinkle in those paperbacks that are available when they are, your total price would be $261.36, which comes out to $29.04 per book, which is good. Again, you can get these for cheaper. Also, for Book of the Month, there's no shipping costs ever. So depending on where you get these, you might also have to pay for shipping as well. Now let's talk about Book of the Month. Your first box is $9.99 or $14.99. I've seen both, plus tax. I ended up getting mine for $9.99, which was actually $10.49, but you know. And then each of the add-ons that you add are $14.99 plus tax, which works out to $31.48 when I added 2 add-ons, which means my first box cost $41.97, but my subsequent boxes, because I didn't have that first month promo, they were $59.82 for 3 books. Now, if we add all of that together, that comes out to $161.61 for the 9 books that I got from Book of the Month, with a cost of $17.96, which I was actually really surprised by when I was doing the numbers. That's definitely a lot lower than I was anticipating. I think that first box being low definitely brought everything down. The longer that you go, that price is going to climb a little bit closer. But for 3 months, I'm very happy with that. There is also the option that probably most normal people are going to take, where you just pay for the Book of the Month. Once a month, you buy the book. Great. There's a yearly option and a monthly option. I went with the monthly option, but with tax, the cost Canadian per book is $28.34. If you couldn't follow all of that, here's a chart laying out all of the differences in the options for what you could purchase. Again, Book of the Month doesn't have any shipping costs associated with it. And all of these numbers are in Canadian, including tax. Actually, that's not true. The Book of the Month ones include tax, but the Indigo ones don't. Oh, that's really unfortunate. So by the numbers, Book of the Month is definitely the best bang for your buck, as long as there are books that you want to purchase. And I should also mention, of the books that I got, one of them I should return, is bad. Daisy Jones is in really bad quality. And then 2 books, I would return them if it was easy. Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. It has that cover that just bothers me, especially when it's a hardcover. Like, the dust jacket is so much of it. And then Sign Here was also dirty. And then Writing Retreat, I would not have purchased if I knew that there wasn't a medallion on it. So our hit rate isn't great. That's a 4 out of 9 that I don't love, but also maybe I'll do the return process. Like, there's a lot of wiggle room in there. And generally the books that were the Book of the Month pick that were brand new, those were always really good quality. There were never any scuffs and scrapes on those. Now comes the big conclusion. Is Book of the Month Canada worth it? Yes, it absolutely is, if you're going by the numbers and if you have some flexibility. I am not someone who needs to purchase every book that I want to read or have read, but if that's something that's important to you, Book of the Month is definitely a great option. You can only purchase 3 books a month, so you can't build your collection the way you might want to, but maybe that's a good thing. Will I continue using Book of the Month going forward? Yes, but sparingly. You are able to skip any month, so what I'm going to do is skip until I accumulate enough books that I really care about. I'm not just going to be getting them to get them. I got the first in a series and one of these accidentally, so if they publish the second one, then I'm going to keep up with it. I'm going to monitor Book of the Month, but I'm going to be very selective. And I think if you're interested in getting the Book of the Month picks, the best way to do it, numbers-wise, is to wait 3 months and then purchase the current month, the past month, and the month before that. list. Because then instead of paying $28 for each of those books, you'll pay $28 for one and then $15 for each of the subsequent two. If that's something that you're interested in, be honest with yourself. Are you going to read the Book of the Month book within the month that you get it? No, you're not going to. I bought 9 of these things and I've only read 1 of them so far. So I think that that is the best way to have the Book of the Month experience for the best bang for your buck. There are only 5 selections every month, so it's very easy for there to be something that you're not interested in, or that the thing you're interested in is an add-on, which you can't add without getting the current month book. I hope I'm explaining this right. The other thing I can't speak to is after the friend status that I got, there is another status after you ship 12 boxes that you're a BFF, and there's presumably more perks associated with that that would lower costs and stuff. I think they send you the book of the year for free. Don't quote me on that, but that was the impression that I got. So there's still a lot of variability in there, but generally I'm very happy with Book of the Month. I'm very happy with the books that I've got. There's a lovely little shelf now that has all my Book of the Month books, which is what I wanted. I just wanted one of those shelves to have exclusively Book of the Month books, so I'm happy. Maybe I'll try returning one of the books and doing a follow-up just to see if there's even better ways that you can use Book of the Month. But generally, this was a fun time for me. I think that if you are someone who is very precious with your books and is going to be really upset if they're not in pristine condition, then this is not the thing for you. They're shipped, so inherently there's a little bit of wear and tear on them. But for my purposes, this worked out just fine. Okay, I think that's everything. I think I covered everything. If there's something that I missed, if you have any questions, just comment them below. I will do a good job of keeping on top of those because this is really interesting for me and I hope that you got some valuable information. And if you did, smash the like and subscribe, and I will be back very soon with a video to talk about books and probably also charts and numbers. I hope you have a lovely day and I will see you very soon with another video. Goodbye.